This is a bike and this is a train. On their own, they're great, but put them together and you get a level of freedom and efficiency that every city should be striving for. And on day 7 of my journey across the Netherlands, I saw why. Netherlands Spoorwegen, better known as NS, is the national passenger railway of the Netherlands. The network crisscrosses the country, running close to 5,000 scheduled domestic trains every day and carrying over 1 million passengers. Sure, you can find plenty of negativity about them online, but coming from a country that is poorly connected by rail, even through the straight line where half the population resides, and where you literally have to weigh your luggage before boarding, these trains are fantastic. I used them 5 times during my trip, and the worst delay I experienced was just 11 minutes, which is a lot better than I had to endure with Deutsche Bahn. There are typically 2 types of service. Intercity trains are the quick option, like an express service. Then there are the sprinters, which have a bit of a misleading name. Their old name, stop trains, is far more accurate since they typically stop at every station along the route. They're best for shorter trips. Paying for the train is easy and flexible. You can tap in and out with a debit or credit card, get an OV-chip card and load it with credit, or buy single tickets from a kiosk, which will print a physical ticket but charge a small service fee. I just used the NS app. It's simple, fast, and saves you that kiosk surcharge. There are also season tickets, but that's a topic for another day. On its own, the Dutch rail system is already impressive, but where it truly shines is in its relationship with the bicycle. It's the kind of synergy most cities only dream about, yet in the Netherlands, it's simply part of daily life. You get the long-distance speed of the train with the door-to-door flexibility of the bike. They go together like peanut butter and jam, or rather, white bread and hagelslag. Actually, no, just forget all of those. From now on, we should just be saying things go together like bikes and trains. That's how good they go together. And Chris Bruntlett of the Dutch Cycling Embassy explains why in this clip from Hub Cycling.
Just to give you a sense of the potential reach of the public transport system, in this case, the rapid transit system here in Metro Vancouver, by taking the 1 kilometer walking catchment area and now expanding it to the 5 kilometer catchment area. And you can see, again, this exponential reach of people that may not have the economic means or the privilege of living within walking distance of a SkyTrain station, but can potentially access the system if we get the infrastructure right, if we get the parking right, and if we get that bike sharing system stretched outside of the city of Vancouver's boundaries. And I think the bike train combination solves a lot of the challenges we've been trying to solve for a very long period of time without there just being more cars on the road.
In the Netherlands, it starts with safe, connected bike lanes that make it easy for people to ride to stations. Then there's the station bike parking, on a scale that is really hard to comprehend until you see it. Take Utrecht's massive multi-level bike garage I visited last year. It has well over 12,000 parking spaces that are so well used, there is talk of further expansion. Because it works. It's what enables the classic Dutch option of leaving a beater bike at both ends of your typical journey. You can actually see this in action in the very first video posted over at Bicycle Dutch. But you don't have to own a bike or 2. You can use the bike sharing scheme, Overijssel. These yellow and blue bikes are all over the Netherlands, which cost less than €5 a day, with the price increasing after the first 3 days to €9.65 a day. Not the cheapest option, but a lot less than tourist rental shops. Those wouldn't work for me. I had to bring my bike along. But you can't just roll up all willy-nilly and load your bike onto the train. This is a civilized society after all. There are rules, because if there weren't, they would need entire train cars dedicated for bikes, and that just wouldn't be efficient. So starting off the rules is the bike itself. Only 1 per person on the train. It must be a standard bicycle, and folding bikes can be taken free of charge at any time, as long as they are indeed folded up. You can only take your bicycle on the train during off-peak hours, and not without an off-peak bicycle ticket. It's a flat rate, no matter the length of the journey. NS makes sure to remind you to have a ticket for yourself. And I know that this is because people have probably forgotten to get their own, but I'm wondering, could you theoretically just send your bike to someone else? Like, tap into the station, tape an off-peak bicycle ticket to the bike, and just see you later? That could be like a cheap way to ship a bicycle to someone. Granted, nobody stole it. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Basically, if you have the right bicycle at the right time with the right tickets, you are ready to go. When your train arrives, look for the doors with the bicycle symbol and park your bike in the designated area. If there's no room, well, you're gonna have to wait for the next train and cross your fingers. Thankfully, that wasn't in my near future. Instead, I would look forward to a lovely ride that began in Arnhem.
So today was one of those days where during the planning phase, I had to make a decision. I know I wanted to go north from Arnhem, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to go straight north or to head more east. So the decision was made, I'm going east.
I chose Hardenberg as the final destination for the day. By bike, I would be looking at about 110 kilometers. Doable, but that would just simply soak up too much time. There are things I wanted to see in between after all. So I'll be riding 20 clicks to Dieren, take the train to Almelo, and ride the last 30 kilometers to Hardenberg. While we're speaking of distances, I might as well check in because after 6 days, we are now over halfway through the trip. I would have traveled nearly 300 kilometers if I didn't take any detours or long rides around Den Bosch, so my actual distance traveled before today is just shy of 400 kilometers, averaging about 65 a day. And from here, I still have another 300 to go, and I'll let you guess which cities I hit next. But back to day 7.
So the idea today was to possibly cruise through Posbank or whatever you call it, which is another national park, apparently much more hilly than the one I saw yesterday.
It's beautiful, but it can pose a bit of a hurdle, though they weren't the obstacles I was worried about today.
Now, there's one thing that concerns me today. It's not that there's rain in the forecast, but when I woke up and checked the weather, it says that there might be thunderstorms midday. Now, my next point I'm going to is Dieren. It's only 20 kilometers from Arnhem, so that should only take me an hour. We'll see.
Veluwezoom is the oldest national park in the Netherlands. It covers about 50 square kilometers of forests, heathlands, and even a drifting patch of sand. And like most places here, it has fietsknoop signs to guide cyclists, but I also spotted a bunch of wayfinding mushrooms. These small signs point you towards specific destinations instead of numbered routes. Following them took me straight to the main thing I came here for, the highest point in the park, standing 110 meters above sea level.
There's just fields and fields of heather. They're not in bloom right now. I think that happens late in the summer, but I can imagine. I can imagine. It is beautiful.
As I looked out over the rolling hills, a light drizzle began to fall, reminding me of what was looming on the horizon and urging me on towards Dieren. But before long, I found myself up against something I hadn't quite prepared for. These are Highland Cows, originating from Scotland. They've only been around the Netherlands for a little more than a decade. I thought they were simply someone's free-roaming cattle, but they have actually been deployed across the country with a purpose. They are organic lawn mowing machines who help keep the parklands and sand dunes from becoming overgrown. And when they were introduced in North Holland, they apparently unsettled enough people that the local agency offered classes on livestock. It is generally not advised to get too close, especially when calves are present.
And look at, there's a baby. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him go. Oh my God. It's a little calf. Okay, I'm a little scared.
I didn't know it at the time, but I was the dumb tourist. This wasn't the first time I had seen them. My wife and I had spotted them in Amsterdam, right near Schiphol, the previous summer. So maybe that casual encounter reinforced my ignorance.
Okay, so they've blocked this path, which is where I need to go. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get impaled. That would be unpleasant.
It was truly at this moment I felt unprepared, but I gingerly moved along the edge of the path, doing my best to appear harmless.
Holy. There's a big beast. Hello, little guy. You're walking through, guys. Bye. This part's nice. It was like basically all uphill to Posbank, more or less. And now we're getting the down slope. Let's go. Man, it is so green in here. So green. I don't know if this camera's picking it up, but oh my God, there's another one. Like I'm pretty sure they're docile. Like there would be warning signs if they weren't. It's the horns. It's the horns, man.
I eventually arrived in the town of Dieren, a name that translates to animals, which seems like such a perfect match for my destination, a company whose name was inspired by an animal in the nearby Veluwe. This is Royal Dutch Gazelle Factory and Experience Center. First established in 1902 as a factory for the company's first bicycles they built themselves, it has since evolved. It's a showroom where you can look at everything Gazelle has to offer, try out some of their latest bicycles on their test track inspired by the nearby Veluwezoom, explore the company's history in the museum, and even take a factory tour where you can look down on the operations from a catwalk above the factory floor. And it turns out, it's even a great place to avoid a torrential downpour. It was such a fantastic experience. I don't think anyone can walk out of there without wanting to ride a Gazelle. It is literally an indoctrination machine. They even sent me off with some swag and a branded tin of stroopwafels. And honestly, I can't believe it took me this long to have some. I mean, I'm still dreaming of Camphausen in Gouda. I will be publishing a dedicated video on the experience, so stay tuned for that. From Dieren, I took the train to Deventer before switching trains to Almelo. It was pretty easy. I only had a few issues. First is that getting a fully loaded e-bike in and out of a train without level boarding is a bit of a pain, especially when you forget to unlock the back wheel. Second, I nearly avoided hurting some people after arriving in Almelo. I can't remember if there was no elevator or it was out of order. Either way, relegated to using the stairs, I nearly lost control. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and there was an elevator to get up to street level.
This elevator doesn't smell like pee. That's first.
Other than those two things, it was a great experience. This wouldn't be the last time I get help from a train.
So I have just reached Almelo, and the reason why I came here was simply because I didn't want to transit the whole way. If I had ridden from Arnhem to Hardenberg, my final destination for today, I think it would have been like 110 kilometers or something like that. It'll be a bit too much because tomorrow's supposed to be a real big day.
And as I set off, camera in hand, I got a soft warning from a passing police officer, which, by the way, you can get a fine of 170 euros for using a phone or camera while riding a bike. Thankfully, I was given grace. Nature finds you pretty quick in the Netherlands. This isn't even nature, it's just a neighborhood.
Now, I forgot to mention, I'm in a new province. This is Overijssel. I don't know how to say it.
Overijssel.
Just got on a 60k road, no infrastructure whatsoever. It's a long cycling route, unless again, I've missed it. This is not pleasant, not great. I don't like this. Nope.
This is the first time I ever felt uncomfortable while riding a bike in the Netherlands.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which may suck, but this is really saying something after the hundreds of kilometers I've traveled on a bike in this country. And even when it gets a little sketchy, it doesn't last long.
Oh yeah, I'll take this. I'll even take this. Let's go.
Don't mind the backwards hat, it's so I don't lose it again. Fly off my head. Anyway, this is nice. Okay, I really did not like being on those 60-kilometer-per-hour roads and sharing them with cars. That's not my bag, I've found out. But this is a lot better. I came across this lookout point, which was a reminder that I had left the hills behind me in Gelderland. This might be the highest point in the Netherlands, right? I know I climbed a bunch of hills in the past couple days, but come on, this is it, right? This is, of course, a joke. We all know the highest point is at the lookout I saw last year near Zandvoort. Hardenberg is a town of 19,000 people near the German border, and apparently some proportion of the population still speaks Dutch Low Saxon, but sadly, the dialect is dying. But here in the walkable town center, you'll find De Klepperman, a statue made by local artist Jan Oosting. I thought it was a bricklayer, but it's actually based on the last real night watchman here back in the early 20th century. Now, I didn't come to Hardenberg just to see this statue, so that begs the question, why did I come here? Well, I do hate leaving cliffhangers, but that will be the first thing I answer tomorrow. And if you want to see more, you can subscribe to my Patreon page to get early access and extras, like a video about what I get at Dutch grocery stores.
Oh, you're such a good puppy. Oh, you're a good buddy. Oh, yes, good buddy. Oh, good scratches.